when you have more persons at home, we tend to get more fires. During this global pandemic, we have to remember the children are at home. It is extremely important to never leave them unattended. Make sure that anything that is flammable is kept away from them. A lot more cooking is taking place because a lot more work from home is taking place. That has now become the norm. So be sure that you never leave your cooking unattended for any prolonged period. And when we say prolonged period, all of us will be mindful of whatever it is that we're cooking and the time it takes for boil over to take place. Boil over can actually start a fire. When boil over occurs, it is depleting the water which is in the pot. A part of what the water does is that it maintains temperature, and it absorbs the heat that is coming up from the direct flames. So when the water continues to dry out, you're going to get to a point where all the water is gone. Then whatever it is in the pot, if it continues, those things can become what we call embers. So they'll now be set ablaze in the pot. If it's a situation where you're frying, then the temperatures will continue to rise. And we've seen situations of flambe which is in a controlled setting. However, if it's not in a controlled setting, what you're going to have is that the fire will start right there on the stove. If you're cooking, please ensure that as much as is possible, you're tending to what it is that you're cooking. And I must point out very quickly, if you get home and you feel tired, don't tell yourself that you're going to be putting this on and take a nap. Take a nap first and then go and cook. During this time when we're working from home, use the opportunity to get rid of all useless combustible material. We would have seen a ban on bags, plastic, single-use plastic bags. Remember, the term regulator means to regulate. The contents of your gas cylinder are under pressure. The regulator ensures that pressure is taken down to a manageable level, and then the gas is fed to your appliance, in this case your stove. So if the regulator is malfunctioning, it can cause leaks. And once there's a leak and you have open flame, that is a recipe for disaster. We must also point out that we've seen instances in households where persons tend to have the stove below a window, and for some reason they have some nice decorative curtains. Of course, we do not recommend that. I want to use this opportunity to make a general appeal to all Jamaicans. First of all, you do not use sanitizers in your kitchens where there's open flame. A lot more devices are now requiring a lot more energy, so a lot more charging is taking place. A lot more devices might be plugged into plugs that would not have been accommodating this much load. Never ever overload electrical circuits or the sockets. We have to be mindful of the fact that overloading will cause a fire. One of the sure ways to start a fire is by going with the extension cords, those little brown and white extension cords. Those extension cords are not meant to carry any amount of load. It is best if you get a surge protector for all your appliances. The surge protector will, as the name suggests, take a surge in electricity and it will break the circuit to ensure that you are not starting a fire. So it is extremely important to ensure that you're purchasing the right tools for the job at hand. Once they are not in use, plug them out. And it saves on energy as well, because these devices take energy to keep them going, and for the energy to actually get to them, it must pass through the cords that you're using. And I want to point out for you very quickly as well, never ever use extension cords on appliances that have very short cords. There's a reason the manufacturer make your blender with a very short cord. It's because they want them plugged directly into the socket and not into an extension cord, because they pull a lot of energy very, very quickly, and the extension cords might not be able to supply that amount of energy. And one of the ways to know if your extension cord is under pressure is by feeling the temperature of it. So you can use the back of your hand. If the extension cord is warm, it is sending a message to you. And one of the last things I want to leave you with, as an organization, the Jamaica Fire Brigade is open and available at all times. If it is that you have any kind of questions, feel free to call us. Feel free to go into any one of our fire stations, ask for information, ask for safety tips, and we will accommodate you. And remember, in the event of a fire, the numbers to call is your nearest fire station, or 110 or 112.